Hi everyone, my name is Naija Delgado and today I'm going to be talking about bone growth. Here I have a Word document I created with some illustrations. So the first question is asking if the epiphyseal growth plates are growing so fast, why do they stay thin? This is due to the cartilage growth beginning to slow down and stopping altogether after some time has passed. After the cartilage discontinues to grow, these epiphyseal plates will solidify into a narrow epiphyseal line. The thickness of the epiphyseal plate does not increase the rate of cartilage. The cartilage growth is equal to the rate of cartilage replacement by bone. And then here I have an illustration. Here we have some cartilage as well as up here. So then the next question is, why is Kaylin taller than me if she entered puberty several years later than I did? Puberty typically begins between the ages of 11 and 12. The growth plates during puberty begin to mature, and at the start of early adulthood, most growth essentially stops. It's important to mention several other factors may play a role in height other than puberty, some of these being diet, exercise, genetics, and your environment. I personally have an example of how genetics plays a role in height. For example, I pulled towards my mother's genetics, averaging at a height of 5'8", and my sister pulled towards my dad's genetics, averaging at a height of 5 feet. And here I have an illustration of puberty growth. So then in the next question we have, what is the anatomical event that marks the end of a late adolescent / young adult bone growing period? Intramembranous ossification is the anatomical event that marks the end of a late adolescent bone growth. This defines when the bones are forming and the soft tissue hardens through a period of time. This typically occurs between the ages of 18 to 25 years old. Here we have what is then the difference between epiphyseal plate and epiphyseal line. The difference between epiphyseal plate and epiphyseal line is that epiphyseal plate is formed by cartilage that is employed during ossification. Epiphyseal lines are the excess parts of the epiphyseal plates that are found in mature bone. Which type of bone growth is possible after puberty? The bone growth that is possible after puberty is called appositional growth, which is defined as the diameter and thickness of the bone increase, which typically stops after puberty. The reason this is possible is because instead of length, the growth is created by forming new layers on the surface of pre-existing layers, which increases thickness and not length. And then here I have an illustration of bone growth. And then for the last question, it's asking me about a neighbor called Melissa who is already 28 years old but is considering taking hormonal growth because she is unhappy with her height. My advice would be that although there may be a few benefits to hormonal growth, Melissa should consider not taking this hormonal growth because there may be harms like types of cancers, insulin-resistant joint pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and acromegaly. The fact that Melissa is already 28 years old means she's reached adulthood, which typically means that her growth plates have stopped growing, and utilizing of this treatment may no longer work. And then here I have an illustration of growth hormone. Thank you. You guys have a great day.